Hey, everybody, we have such a great opportunity here, and I'm going to let the wonderful speaker. You got to go by Sam. I see you have it short on your.
Yes,
Okay, so Sam Singh. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
perfect.
All right, Sam Singh. All right. And Sam I'm just so excited about her being able to be a part of this program and share with you all because her specialty is she's a money mindset coach and a business strategist. And so I want to let her define exactly what that means here in just a second, but just really tune in and think about what she's saying to you, because I know that I have a lot to gain from it too. Sam is used to working with a lot of high level folks that I'm sure she'll have some really cool stories to tell us about the people that she's worked with. But she also knows that this course is kind of for beginners, for people just kind of starting out. And so we've already strategized a little bit about her presentation to you. So Sam, introduce yourself. What is a money mindset coach and business strategist? What does that mean?
Well, hi everyone. I'm Sam, and I am coming here from London. It's my absolute honor to be a part of this with Casey, who is so inspiring. I'm already so inspired by him. So, a money mindset coach is basically someone who works on your thoughts, beliefs, and habits that you have about money. Uh, the word mindset generally in coaching is used to describe thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that we have about anything. And the reasoning behind is this, that uh, everything is internal first. So we first we have a thought which turns into a belief, which can then generates a feeling, and then we take an action. And the idea behind this coaching method, and Casey is so well known, he knows a lot about it, is this, that you make these internal changes which influence the external actions which you are taking, and these external actions then change basically your reality.
That's so great. And I love how you went deep really fast, because I mean, not too deep, but you went deep as far as like, this is the core. Something I've been teaching my clients for 25 years is that I bet you found this to be true too, Sam, with people that you've worked with, is we think that we get this feeling and then we act on it, right? But it's not true. We have a thought that creates the feeling, and then we choose to take action or behavior on it. And that little nugget right there, guys, is going to be worth the total cost of admission, which was free, but for you to listen to Sam today, is that you do have, within that thought, you have the power to decide what you're feeling and what your actions are. Would you agree with that, Sam?
Totally, exactly. And that thought is the beginning of the action. And basically, all kinds of coaching, whether it's money mindset, which relates to money, performance coaching, life coaching, they are based on the fact that if you change the thought, like it's the seed, it will have that snowball effect and change the action, which would basically change your reality.
Brilliant. Maybe you could share with somebody that you worked with that we're going to accept that as a formula, right? Thought, then feeling, then behavior, right, or action. That was producing negative results in their life. Their negative thought was producing a negative feeling and producing negative results in their life. And how you were able to help them to turn that around is I know I'm putting you on the spot there, but do you have a case study or somebody you could share with us to illustrate how that works?
Yes, of course. So I will speak about this client of mine. She was running online business. She was a graphic designer, and she was pretty much trading dollars for time for dollar, as you would call it. So her offering was great, but she had no confidence in herself, and her pricing was the value which she was charging was really, really less. And when I started working with her, she was very harassed because she was working really long hours, and still she was just making enough at times to meet her expenses, and sometimes even not that. And she was basically going into a debt cycle. You know how it starts. You take one debt, and then you take another to pay the interest on it, and then you take the third one to pay the interest on the second one, something very common in UK now, unfortunately.
Ooh.
And when I started working with her, her first thing was this, that she wanted to come out of the cycle of living basically month to month and have some savings. And if she felt like having a holiday, it was nothing like she didn't want it to be a millionaire. She was like, if I feel like having a holiday and not work for 14 days, I should be able to do it on my own. And I started speaking to her. And what we found out was this, that she had no confidence in herself because as a child, she was unfortunately told by her carers that she's not good enough because as children, how we are all naughty, we sometimes break rules. And that feeling stayed with her. And because she thought she was not really good enough, she was basically undervaluing and undercharging what she was offering. And what we had to do was a lot of work on finding those memories, which can be a bit tough, on and turning those memories from something painful into something more empowering, so that they don't have a hold on her subconscious anymore. And then we changed her pricing strategy. And I told her that maybe charge five of your clients still what you're charging, but at least for two of them to start charging this new price. And then she was surprised when she charged this, people were willing to pay because she was good enough. And that helped her be literally recharge her business. And that's a perfect example of how sometimes we have thoughts which are actually in our subconscious. We are not even aware of them. And when it comes to your money or your business or creating wealth, it doesn't have to be even a memory relating to your to the money in your life. It can be something which can be related to something totally different. I heard this very famous business man once say this quote. I can't remember who it was. Maybe you would remember, Casey. Your self worth equals your net worth.
Oh, you know,
So,
we talked about that with Tony in our last one. Yeah,
okay.
he said that too. That's great. So it is worth repeating though. So your network, meaning your network of people around you, equals your net worth. Yeah.
Exactly. And what you feel about yourself and would reflect on what you are charging, how you're progressing in your career or your business, because it's only that when the world will never think of us higher than what we think of us ourselves.
Mm.
Unfortunately, it only happens in romantic movies that you have someone who meets you and who thinks that you are much better than who you are.
Yeah.
But in reality, the world will always think of you as good as you think you are. And thinking good about yourself doesn't mean that it means having a growth mindset. It means appreciating that what you are or what you stand for and being true to yourself rather than trying to copy someone else, whether it's in business or your career or how you're making money. But at the same time, always trying to grow yourself as a person.
That's brilliant. I love the romantic movie reference there because I love that. What's that? That's said in so many. We only accept the love we think we deserve.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and that's some deep stuff right there. Particularly if we look back on our relationships and we go, I keep ending up with the wrong girl. I keep ending up with the wrong guy. What's going on there? Or why do when I find the right one, why do I sabotage it? Why do I have a 6-month shelf life on a relationship and then something implodes? There's something subconscious going on there in which we're sabotaging. And I think that's really brilliant to bring that out. Yeah.
And I'll also add to it that we only accept the money we or prosperity we think we deserve. So that's why you hear about so many of these people who win lotteries. They will win millions of dollars or pounds, depending where they are, and they would lose it all in next 2 years. And again,
Mm.
they would be back to where they start. It's because the money came, but they did not do the internal work to keep the money.
Yeah, their comfort zone was chaos, or their comfort zone was being poor. And we see it with lotto winners. I don't know, here in the America a lot. There's a lot of lottos. People win, millions of dollars, and they were, they were in a, living very impoverished, before then. And a year later, you check in with them, and they're not only is the money gone, but they're in debt and they're in a worse situation than they were before. I mean, what happened there? You got $24 million last year. What's going on, with you? So it has to be an internal issue first that we handle, right? Before we can actually start to see some external changes. That's what I'm hearing you say. Would you agree?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So could you give us maybe like a practical list just off the top of your head of those limiting beliefs? What are some things that we might be carrying with us that we don't know, right? And we're not really consciously recognizing, but if we don't address, they're probably going to sabotage us.
Yes. So one of the most im- biggest limiting belief I see in with my clients is they are often it's what I call scarcity mindset. People always think that there is not enough. Like there's not, and it can be things like there's not enough money, there's not enough clients, uh, only some people will get money, versus abundant mindset, which thinks that there are opportunities for everyone. The universe has wealth or clients or success for everyone. So if someone else is getting success or money or clients, instead of thinking that, oh, I don't have it and they are getting it, think of it as a sign from the universe that everyone has it, and we just have to open ourselves to it. So that is one of the biggest beliefs which I see is what scarcity mindset, and it comes out in things like when we a Black Friday being a very good example, which where we kind of go like, oh, all this stuff is on sale and it's never going to be on sale again, so
Black
I'm going
Friday,
to
yeah.
buy everything which I don't even need. uh, uh, uh,
Guilty.
Me too, but equally
Yeah.
guilty. And it comes out like, when we feel that, oh, I'm not going to get clients, or like, if, for example, if I am a money mindset coach and I see other money mindset coach and I'm like, oh, she's getting all the clients and I'm not going to get them, or why there's so much competition in my field. All these are signs of scarcity mindset, which I often see. The other belief I often see, and which I come across my clients so many times, Casey, and it's quite heartbreaking actually. Uh, so many people, they they want to be rich, but they have this block and they're sabotaging themselves from becoming rich because they have been told, either by society, by media, by someone, that being rich means that you're a bad person. So they kind of think like, oh, if I become rich, my family will not love me or I'll become a bad person.
Mm,
And they are like trying to do all these things to break out of their financial reality. And by rich is a very subjective uh, term. So anyone who makes $5,000 a month can be rich, or $2,000. It's about what you think is rich for you.
mhm.
So when I use the word rich, I'm using the word very subjectively and very loosely. I'm not talking about billionaires and multi-billionaires. But people think that becoming rich or being financially well off means that they would become a bad person and people will not like them, or people will not love them, or people will only love them for their money. Because that's what like the media shows us, right? That a rich man is only loved for his money, or a rich woman is only loved for her money. Like, how many times in TV do we see a rich woman who's also a kind and good and enjoying her life? She's always the dark character in a
That's right. Yeah.
TV.
The Cruella de Vil. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so they are taking actions, but then internally actually sabotaging themselves because they have this fear of becoming financially well off. That's a second really big belief which I see. And what I always tell my clients is this, like this really good exercise. I always tell them that for next 30 days, write that if I become rich, what are the good things I can do in world? And
Mm.
it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm going to open school for children in Africa. It can be things like, I'm going to take my parents for a cruise, or I'm going to buy my nephew the toy which he wants to buy. Or, I mean, in my case, it was a big thing. Like, I'm going to get a rescue dog and give the rescue dog a big, a fabulous life, which they would probably have never had. Uh, so it's things like write 10 things like this every day for
Mm.
30 days to change this belief that actually when I get money, I'll have power to do good both in my personal life, in my local community, and if you feel like maybe in a wider scale, like you want to go and help orphans in Africa, or help save the rainforest, then you do that.
That's brilliant. I love it. And it's like you read my mind, because I wanted people to get a practical example of what you literally do with your clients. I'd like to broaden that a little bit. Do you have, and this might be, again, too much to ask for you off the top of your head, but do you have a story arc that you go with your client, or like a usual success path, or little milestones that they kind of hit along the way when they go from that scarcity mindset to an abundant mindset, or whatever when you first meet, one of your clients to where you hope to get to with them, you introduce exercises like the brilliant one that you just
Yeah.
shared right there. What is their flight path like? Is there stages that you maybe have identified?
Yes, I love that. This is my favorite part. So thank you for asking it.
Oh yeah.
So often when people come to me, and it is like a lot about psychology and how people's brain work, they don't know what the issue is. So they will be like the way I mentioned earlier, they'll be like, oh, I'm working dreadful hours and I'm not making enough money, or I keep being in debt. So there would be some problem. They then I you start by asking them questions. It's almost like being a therapist. That okay, like about their childhood, about like what they are making, why they are making, and then often you find you get an indication, you get a wider indication about that which part of the finances or their belief system it relates to. So once I have a general idea like this, and if I'm 100% sure that it has to do with the issues around money, uh, I will basically make them do this really simple exercise in which all of you can do. First thing in the morning, don't look at your phone. First thing, as soon as you get up, just get a cup of coffee, get two A4 papers, and start writing money is, and write for the whole both the sides of A4. Write the first thing which comes in your brain. Don't There's no right or there's no wrong. And once you start doing this, and after you've written both the sides, when you start reading it, you would see a pattern. There would be a couple of thoughts which would be like really standing out. It would be like maybe money is evil, or money is hard to get, or for someone who has a great money mindset, probably like Bill Gates, he would be like, oh, money is easy to get. uh, so you would see a pattern. And once I find the pattern, then I do a lot of exercises with them. And some of these questions are actually, they go really into your psyche. And I do some meditations with them to go back to their past to find out where these thoughts emerged from.
Perfect.
And once we find out like what's the memory, where did these thoughts emerged from, and it can be a lot of reasons, right? As I said, for one of my clients, it was she was told by her carer she's not good enough. Or it can be things like you saw your parents fight for money, and that was, I'll be very vulnerable. That was one of the
Mm,
reasons for me. I saw my parents fight about money because my mom came from a very rich family, and my dad he did not come from a very well-to-do family. So I saw that tension in their marriage, and I grew up with the fact that talking about money with your partner or spouse means trouble. And then I do more exercises with them. It can
Can I
be
comment on the first one first, just a little bit, because boy, I can really identify with that. I'm a uh, for years growing up Christian, I was read this, the scripture that probably everyone's heard is, or misheard is, money is the root of all evil, right?
yes, I went to Catholic school, so I know.
Yeah, there we go. So but the Bible doesn't say that. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. And so for me, I've heard a lot of people talking about loving money, and I think they mean something, they mean it in a positive sense, but the same kind of attraction or acceptance that money is good. I think that's good. But for me, it's like I had to translate that. It's not, an accumulation of money so that I have, piles of $100 bills on my desk, and I just love that, and I'm selfish and greedy about it. That's the evil part about it. But having a lot of money, I don't love the money. I love what it can do. right? I love the freedom that it can bring so that I can be a more present father in my children's life, and I don't have to work, 80 hours a week. I love that I can be generous and I can give to other people. I love that I can choose what I want to do that's in my skill set, my strength, and what gives me energy, and I can pay somebody else to do the things that energizes them but drains me. That's the acceptance of money is good, right? Instead of money is bad or
Exactly.
evil.
Perfect. Because it makes you live the best life that you can and become the best version of yourself. I always tell people money is just energy. It is just energy. When we say that there's so much of like $6 billion in a bank or something, no one has seen those $6 billion, right? They're not like it's just energy, and just like anything with energy, it's like what meaning you give to it.
Beautiful.
And so, and once we coming back to what I was saying earlier, so once I find out what's the root cause of their problem, like what's the childhood memory or what's the trigger, I do some more NLP exercises, and I do like a personalized hypnosis with them to help them change that. But it is they have to meet me halfway, because I can help them, I can teach them how to control the thoughts in their brain, but I can't control it for them. I so it is so like you're a Christian, I'm a Buddhist. So it's like this, but it's like it's quite similar philosophy in the sense that every moment you have two voices in your head, and it's like you have two wolves in your head, and it's about you deciding which one you feed. So it starts by making small choices. One very simple exercise I tell people, and which works wonderful, is decide that what you want. So, like if you want to say that I have a lot of money, or this will work for anything, or I'm a good businesswoman, or I'm a lovable person. Decide what you want to do and start seeing evidence of it everywhere. Just tell yourself this
Mm.
is true. I call it book of evidence. It is
I'm sorry, you call it what?
a book of evidence. So you
A
just
book of
carry.
evidence.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
carry it like you can carry like a small notebook. My handwriting is very poor because I have learning disabilities, as I told you. I write in my notepad, my iPhone notepad, and and the evidence doesn't have to be. It doesn't need to make sense to anyone. It needs to make sense to you. So, for example, if you're telling yourself that, oh, I'm going to, like a lot of money is coming my way. So you say like, oh, my shampoo was 50 pence cheaper. That's a sign from universe. So uh, it doesn't, or someone bought me a coffee. So like, that's a sign from universe that something is coming my way. You don't have to explain the evidence, but uh, do it for 60 days and try to find three evidence every day. And the thing behind this is this, that this changes what we pay attention to grows, and this exercise basically helps to reprogram our beliefs, because our brain is always looking for evidence, and
Mm.
what we are taught as a child is to look for negative evidence. Economy is not doing well, uh, people are becoming bankrupt, which is true, I'm not saying it's not true. Or,
Hmm.
and the bank and the brain feeds on evidence. It's a psychological proof. So we are just manipulating that evidence to uh, tell it that it's seeing the evidence of what we want a belief system to grow like.
I love that so much. And it's called the reticular activating system, and it's a form
Yeah.
of, the psychological phenomenon of heightened awareness. And we've all seen it, like, if you buy, for example, a bright blue Audi car. Don't know why
Mm.
I'm coming up with that example, Jacob. But then you after you do that, you start seeing Audis everywhere. Where before you
Yeah.
didn't see it before, right? I'm messing with one of our members, Jacob, who is loves Audis, and I've never noticed them before in my life. But after having numerous conversations with him, he's a bit obsessed. And now I see Audis everywhere, right? Like, oh, look, they exist. They're here. And that's the heightened awareness. They existed just as much as before, but now I've got this heightened awareness of it. And I love how you kind of tied that into that. If we've had a poor mindset, scarcity being an example of that, then our reticular activating system or heightened awareness is aware of those negative things, and it brings that up to the forefront of our mind. We're seeing that the world's going to hell in a handbasket. All this stuff is going bad. The economy's dropping and all this, and we're there's just as much positive things there as before. That if we can turn that and go, okay, I'm going to focus now on what I want, not what I don't want. And
Exactly.
I'm going to see lots of more of those, and that's going to build, like a build up or snowball in my life, and I'll see a lot more positives.
Yes. And last but not least, and the most important part, take action. And when I say take action, take inspired action and take as many steps that you can take. Do whatever you can do. Don't worry about the fact you're looking idiot. Don't worry about the fact that you are looking foolish. I mean, I find Steve Jobs so inspiring. Like his whole story, how many times he got rejected. People thought he was mad to think of something like Apple. Take a lot of inspired action, but let everything be okay. Don't attach an outcome to the action. Keep
Mm,
working on your belief systems and keep taking actions without getting too attached to the outcome. Because I really feel that if you have the belief and if you are taking action, then universe will give you universe, God, whatever power you believe in, and we all believe in something. It may be just energy or ourselves. We believe in ourselves, our subconscious mind. It will always give you what you're looking for or something better. And when we get very attached to the outcome, we're looking for the evidence of, oh, why is this not outcome coming, rather than letting things play out. And when I say inspired action, I also mean that go out of your comfort zone.
ooh,
So every day, do one thing which is outside your comfort zone. It can
love
be
that.
as simple as because my business is online. I used to hate going on, like live on Instagram. And just between us, I'm being vulnerable. If it wasn't for my business, I wouldn't even have a social media account. I'll be one of those
We
people
wouldn't be
on
talking
Twitter.
right now, would we?
Exactly. I would be one of those people on Twitter, like who just stalk everyone and see what they are saying, but never post anything.
Uh,
But I told myself it can be a very small thing outside of comfort zone. I was like, I'm going to go live today, even if it's only for 60 seconds. Or it's like, I'm going to reach out to that client to see if they need my help. What's the worst that will happen? They'll reject me. It's fine.
That's good. Hey, listen, Sam, I love so much what you said. And I made an agreement with the group here when we began, is to say, hey, I'm not going to be like some kind of guru, that knows it all. I'm in process myself, and I hope that me being very transparent and vulnerable and sharing lots of details of my life doesn't make anybody feel uncomfortable, but I'm doing that hoping that other people will also be transparent and open and honest and sharing the reality of their life, where they are now and where they want to go. And so most everybody knows this little story that you just illustrated so perfectly, is that about 3 years ago, I always feel like I get like where the people get a New Year's resolution at the end of
Yes,
the year for
yes,
the next
yes.
year.
Yeah.
I always get what I consider like a word from God. God's kind of telling me, okay, Casey, this is the theme for this year,
Yeah.
and it's
Oh, I
happened
love
year after
that.
year after year. Yeah. And so one year, I think it was 2018, it was just like the Nike, swoosh. It was just do it afraid, right? Because I was countering some fear, in my life, and the approval of other people and all that is just like, do it anyway. The next year was the year that I got inspired to put a camper in my backyard. I can see it out this window right now, right? And put it on Airbnb, and to rent it out there. And I was in my friend circle, I was kind of the butt of every joke, during that year, because they were like, Casey wants to put a camper in his backyard, put it on Airbnb. And we live in the city, we don't live in the country or anything like that. And so, but the word for that year was just do it looking foolish. Just do it looking foolish. Exactly what you said, right? And so I attached no meaning to the outcome. I was prepared for that to totally belly flop, right? And I told my wife this, and she, it took her 3 months to convince her to, okay, we'll try this thing, and put it in the backyard. But something about that being not like my identity is in whether or not this is going to succeed or fail, right? In my mind, it had already failed. It wasn't going to work. And so, but I was supposed to do it anyway. That wasn't for it to be a big money maker or be successful in other terms. My outcome was already achieved by doing something while I looked foolish and doing it anyway, because I looked foolish to my friends, right? Well, lo and behold, we've had it for over 2 years now. Almost every weekend has been booked. That little 110 square foot glamper in our backyard pays every bill of our 3,000 square foot house. So it's worked out great. Just blew me
Perfect.
away. But I think that part of that success is because exactly what you said, Sam. I didn't attach this meaning for who I am, success, failure, right? On whether or not it worked out or not. And that was so freeing.
Exactly. And I'm sure when you must have got the camper van for first few months, or first maybe more than few months, nothing would have happened. And that's what's when God or universe is testing you, that are you still okay to let, are you going to get a negative, are you going to start attaching negative stories, or are you going to let it be okay? And if you let it, if you, I call it like a cooking stew time. So if
Uh,
you let that be okay, then basically what you're saying is like miraculous things like that happen.
yeah. It's been really, really cool. And I think that there's just so much for everybody to learn about that because, to be honest with you, I could tell and working particularly with some of the or talking with some of the people in their 20s here, is I'm talking about these concepts they've never heard of before, these things, and you can see them getting really uncomfortable. Their eyes are like, I don't know about this. Is we're not talking about real big things. We're talking about taking some small steps, right? Just some incremental small changes, right? Because to be honest with you, if you took a big gigantic leap right now, your comfort zone would be like no and sabotage, and it'd pull you right back underneath that dome, that comfort zone. So we kind of take small progressional steps, you know, every, and starting in 2 weeks in this program. It's my hope that everybody will, I can't make them, but that everybody will have a weekly goal based on the long-term goal, and what small thing that they will do this week and be held accountable for it by the group to accomplish that, and if they'll have to come and they'll have to report the next week. It might be a little thing like I filled out this application for a credit card, right? To build my credit score. All right, next week comes around, nope, I didn't get around to it. Okay, that kind of feels, like, oh, but next week, we got the same goal, so you get it done. It's a little bit of motivation to be
Yeah.
held accountable by the group, right? To help you to do the things, your goals, not our goals for you, but your goals for you, to accomplish what you want to accomplish, so that this time next year, if you want to go from a credit score from 440 to 640, you're you're going to have to make some small changes along the way.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I always tell my clients, and it's with anything in life, it's small consistent changes which which brings the biggest snowball impact. So these small changes, they maybe in the beginning you have to have that faith. They may not feel like a lot, right? This one action, I'll take this, or I take this about my credit card. But 6 months down the line, or 8 months down the line, you would see the impact when they snowball. So most important thing is to be consistent, and you determine like what speed you go. But it's like being consistent. And one more thing I really believe is this, that motivation comes from action. So when you act, you get motivated. But if you wait to get motivated and then to act, then you are in for a long slog, as we call it in the UK.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Boy, you're just giving so many great gems here. I'm gonna wrote down a few notes, and I just want to pause here and review them. We might review them here at the end, but one is your exercise of money is, and then put your thoughts, and just, I'm sure you mean that as like an exhaustive list. Just keep on writing down money
Yeah.
is whatever, yeah, to you, and just let it flow in a kind of brainstorming fashion. There's no right, wrong answer. Just let it, kind of emotionally vomit, all your internal beliefs about what money is. And then two, because it's a financial course, right? So we're going to talk about money, right? Is create a book of evidence, proof of who you want to become, decide who you want to be, and then start seeing that everywhere, and let that heightened awareness, that phenomenon that has probably been pulling us down, right, in the wrong direction, tap into the very same system that's built into our psyche to be able to pull us up and where we want to go. And then have, your inspired action, which I love that. Your inspired action is to do something outside of your comfort zone, right? We talked about how that's usually best to do it in small steps, baby
Yes.
step out the comfort zone. Make your comfort zone enlarge, yeah, or change. And then also is to not attach any kind of evidence to the outcome, or meaning that, whether you're not, if you're going to go walk into your boss's office and say, hey, I need a raise. I think I deserve, more money. And this is the reasons why I want you to pay me, $4 more per hour. That if he doesn't do it, that doesn't affect your self-worth, right?
Yeah,
Because that reflects on him and his ability to evaluate your value. It does not
exactly.
reflect on you or what your true value is.
Exactly. Remember always that you determine what your value is. No one outside determines what your value is. And thank you for summarizing it so nicely, Casey. And one more thing I always tell my clients is like, think, let your imagination run wild and think like the person, your future self, your
Mm.
person. How would they think? How would they feel? How would they act? And try behaving like that from now. So maybe they will never, maybe your future self will always wear designer clothes. I'm not into them, but I know some people are. But maybe you can't manage to buy them now, but at least you can wear clean clothes. Or, and the easiest are the
That's
internal
great.
changes. Like I always tell myself, like, so especially sometimes when I go out with my girlfriends and we have a couple of drinks and, the women gossip. And I tell myself, oh, will my future self, will she, will she be speaking badly about someone who is not present there? It's like a small
Ah,
change. And I tell myself, no, she is a very ethical woman. She stands up for people. She is not going to like, she's so happy in her life because she has everything she wants.
mm.
She has the money, she has a partner. uh, so she's not going to speak badly about people because
She
she
doesn't
really
need to
does not
tear
have.
other people down to feel good about herself. I love
So,
that. Gosh, that's
and
great.
small things like this you can do.
Yeah.
And one more thing I always feel is this, that universe wants to help you. Universe wants you to feel aligned with yourself, but it won't happen if you're not aligned with people around you. So anyone I meet, and it goes against everything what people tell you now, especially in media and stuff. Anyone I meet, it doesn't matter which part of the world they are from, who they are. I always try to find at least two things in common with them to start and proceed with them on that basis. And I'm not talking in terms of my business, because it's about like, I want to be in alignment with the energy of the universe. So, which means that anyone who's coming in my orbit, they are there for a reason. They have some similarity with me. So you could be the most different person from me, but I would like keep digging until I find two common points, points of similarity between that person. So treat everyone with the same thing, that they are everyone. We are all same, and
Mhm. That's that
we all work in
networking.
a collaborative world.
There's two things, Sam, that we did that we talked about in the previous one was the power of networking and connecting with other people and seeing value in them, like you just described. The other one is that, and I would like to ask you again. I'm going to put you on the spot, but I feel like you're very capable of doing this. It's my habit at the end of everything that I do, including these, is that we do a closed eye activation thought exercise, meditative thought exercise, which I know you have the credentials and the capability of doing that, 3, 4, 5 minutes, kind of thing. And guess what we did last night? In Tony's one is we did the future projection of where everyone is for a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, just like you just talked about. You're validating so much of what we're the direction that we're going. And I'm wondering, would you mind one is, first of all, at the end. So if we're ready to wrap up, you could do it now. If you got some few other things that you'd like to say, then please say them. But would you lead us through like a closed eye meditative exercise, maybe like you do with your clients?
Yeah. If you
Yeah.
just give me a minute, I
Yeah.
actually pull up one of my meditations,
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, that's
and
great.
it will be it will be more than 5 minutes if I manage to find it.
Okay,
You may
that would be great.
and I would love to. It's one of my favorite
Yay.
meditation.
Guys, while she's doing that, I just hope you realize we're getting some really great stuff from Sam. Okay. At the point that I'm sometimes I say this whenever I'm doing public speaking and stuff, and I'll do like a therapeutic meditation thing at the end, and I'll go, "Hey, free therapy. Everybody enjoy. You don't have to pay for this. It's good stuff." So I tell you, it is just been so much fun. These will be my conclusion, my end comments here, and then Sam will um, facilitate this meditation for us, and then we'll end at that. But it has been so much fun to hear Sam reflect an awful lot about what we've talked about, and also where we're going. So please, I hope you take notes. It's always good to be intentional as you watch these, and not just, okay, here's something that I said that I would do, so I'm going to keep my commitment, but be constantly tilting your ear to hear the thing that you need next to get you to where you want to go in life. That's been, I'm not I consider myself a successful person. I'm not like Bill Gates kind of successful. I don't have millions of dollars and billions of dollars yet. But the thing that I feel like I'm successful at, the one key element is I'm constantly having my ear open to listen to and see what is it that I need next. There's an old expression, probably everyone's heard it, is when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I've just found that to be so true in my life. And so I think several of you that are listening to this are ready, and that's why Sam has appeared, in your life today, to share some of these, well, quintessential mindset shifts. The top is always like, do I have a scarcity mindset, or do I have an abundance mindset? And there's others, but as she's already shared with you, that's one that we can easily identify. We can start seeing just in our day-to-day, in our conversations with other people. Am I thinking, okay, there's only one blueberry pie, and so when I take my slice, that means that somebody else didn't get some? No, there's an infinite amount of blueberry pies out there. We can bake more pies, right? It's an abundant situation. So you can have as much blueberry pie as you want, and so can everybody else. And so that's more of a silly example of the abundance mindset. So where am I displaying in my day-to-day? Maybe it's like Sam talked about when you're talking with your friends. Am I getting gossipy? Am I tearing down somebody else so that I feel a little bit better about myself, right? That's a lousy way, to live. Can I be abundant? Can I be complimentary? Can I see the good that are in people? Like Sam talked about, I always try to pick out two things about them that we have in common, or something that they're doing great in their life, something I can say, hey, I love this about you, right? Can I focus on those positive things? And again, so much value here.
Okay. Let's start. I'm going to keep this very short. And this is a very short version of my meeting your future self meditation.
Yay.
Great. So close your eyes and take a deep breath in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take another deep breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now take a couple of deep breaths at your own time and feel the air go down from your nostrils, go down your windpipe, into your chest, into your stomach. Feel how it feels inside your stomach, and then feel it making this journey back to your lungs, to your chest, to your windpipes, and to your nose. Feel your feet ground really strongly into the earth. Feel the solidness of earth under your feet. If you're lying on a sofa, then take a minute to keep your feet on the ground. Now feel the golden energy from earth entering your feet. It's warm, it's golden, and it is so relaxing. Feel that energy move into your ankles. Your ankles are so relaxed now and so warm. Feel that golden, warm, relaxing energy move up your calves and your knees and feel them relax. Now feel that energy go up your hips, your thighs, and feel them relax. Now feel that energy come up your pelvis and your lower stomach, which is a spiritual center, and feel that energy there and relax. Now feel that golden energy come up your chest. It's warm, it's relaxing, and feel your chest relax. Feel that energy now going up your shoulders and just shrug them and let them loose, just almost as if you're willing to let them fall on to the ground. Feel this energy now moving down your arms, your elbows, your fingers, and let it go limp, engulfed in this golden warm energy. Feel this energy go up your throat, then into your jaw, and feel your jaw relax. You may want to sign if that makes you feel better. And now feel this energy go behind your eyes and let them relax. Feel this golden warm energy now going up your temples, your forehead, and into your scalp. And release all thoughts that you have. You are engulfed in this warm golden energy and you are safe, so safe. Now feel that energy go past your head into the roof, into the sky, connecting with the energy of this earth, of this universe. You are one now. You're part of this golden energy, part of the earth, part of the universe. Now, think of yourself at a place which you love and where you feel most safe. It can be your house, it can be your favorite holiday location, it can be a beach. It is very personal to you, and you know that you are very safe and very loved there. See what you see there. Do you see colors? Do you see curtains? Do you see open sky? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it light? Is it dark? Are there any sounds there? Now, you hear someone walking close to you. You can't see them, but you feel so much love coming from them. So much love coming from this presence. So much acceptance. You know that you have never been loved like this before. You have never been as safe as you are now. And now you see in front of you your future self, your higher self, your future self. Look at them. How are they dressed? How are they walking? How are they standing? How are they greeting you? What is the first thing which comes in your mind when you see your future self? Now, your future self has extended their hand and they have asked you permission to touch you. If it feels all right to you, give them that permission and see how they touch you. And if you don't want them to touch you, it's okay. You are still loved, you are still safe, and your future self still loves you. Now, your future self is asking you one question you need to ask them. Ask them whatever you want to ask and wait for their response. It can be anything you want to ask. And now wait to see what they tell you. There is no right question and there is no right answer. It will be very personal to you. Keep feeling that warm love. Now imagine your future self is telling you they love you. They are always there for you. And that the journey is as beautiful as the destination. It's all about enjoying the journey. And now they are going to give you a sign. So whenever you see that sign, it's some message from your future self that you are on the right track. And it can be anything. It can be very personal to you. It can be a white feather. It can be a particular animal. It can be a car. It can be a color. But your future, it is what your future self is telling you that whenever you see that, you are on the right track and they are with you. Now, wave goodbye to your future self and see them go, but you still feel that love, that acceptance. Now, slowly, slowly, bring your attention back to your breath. And when I count from 1 to 5, when I say 1, you will start getting your awareness back in the room. And slowly, by the time I reach 5, you'll open your eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wow, very good.
How did you find that?
I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, that was fantastic. Neat. Well, I hope everybody also where you're in a place. A good thing about this being recorded is that you can come back to this and fast forward to this section, go through this meditative exercise over and over again, and meet with your future self. I love it. Great. Any closing remarks, Sam?
No, it's my nothing apart from the fact that it's my pleasure to be here. And remember that you are all very special, and make big goals for your life, because you all are more than capable of reaching that.
Love it. So perfectly said. Thank you so much, Sam. I'm just so glad that you connected and you responded. I know that the crew here and anybody in the future that watches this recording is going to get awful lot out of it. So thank you again. Very generous.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Have a good day.
All right.
And if anyone has any questions, just reach out to me. I'm sure
Yeah,
Casey will share my details.
I will. I will. Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.